Well, you guys. It is time! The end of the season is pretty much near. In fact, we just got the trailer for the new upcoming season. I think it's called, Visions of the Future. Uh, yeah, but anyways, you might have already noticed that all the cards are ranked. Now, if this is your first time tuning in and you're wondering, why are all the cards ranked? Well, basically, I decided to do something a bit different this season. You see, normally what I would do is each video I would show you guys all the new cards, and then, at around this point, like towards the end of the season, I would rank them all in one video. But I kind of thought, why don't we rank the new cards that I get at the end of each episode, and then by the time we get to the end of the season, it could be more of like a recap, and see which cards got better and then which ones got worse and all that stuff. So yeah, I think this might be the new method. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments if you think I should use this new method or if I should do what I have been doing beforehand, which was just showing you guys the cards and then towards the end of the season just ranking them all together. But anyways, so here is what the list is like. So in Terrible, we've got Cobra and Loki. In Average, we have Baron Zemo, Malekith, Scream, and Nicholas Scratch. In Great, we have Silver Surfer, First Steps, Toxin, and Airwalker. And then for Amazing, we have Galactus, First Steps, and Iron Patriot. So I guess the way I'm going to do this is we'll go through each tier and we'll kind of explain why I put that card there, and if my opinions of a card have changed, like for the better, they may move a tier or maybe drop a tier. I don't know. It's the first time I'm really doing it this way. So we'll see how this goes. Anyways, we're gonna start with Terrible. So Cobra. Yeah, I don't think this dude's ever gonna change. Now, this dude basically debuted. He was a reward that you could get in, I think it was it High Voltage Overdrive? Which, we're not gonna talk about that. That game mode was, the game mode itself was fun, but the reward system just, it was not good. But anyways, Cobra is a 2-cost, 3-power card. And basically, he's an activate, and it says activate, destroy an enemy created card here. And that's where this dude, that's what makes this dude so terrible, is his ability. The thing is, there is no good synergy for Cobra. Because in reality, guys, you're not always going to play a game where your opponent is playing a created deck, or there's not always going to be a location that gives you a created card, right? So it's like, there really isn't a lot of good use cases. Now, the only good combo that I can really think of was, pairing him with Luna Snow, but then again, it's like, most of the time I wouldn't get that combo, so he really did not have a good place. So Cobra is going to stay in Terrible. Now, I did recently, literally just now, I did play one more game with Loki, and I don't think he's that bad. It's like, my first initial thoughts were that, I don't know, I guess his ability just, I guess it was just, very confusing, but I don't know, I'm kind of starting to like him a little bit more. I do still feel like I should do more with it, because granted, I've been playing my Airwalker deck for the most part, but you know what? I think he's not as bad as I initially thought. So I think Loki is going to move up a tier. He's not the greatest card, but he's definitely not as bad as Cobra. So he is going to move up into the average tier along with Nicholas Scratch, which that's going to be the next one. So for average, Baron Zemo is not too bad, right? Because the thing with his ability, the way it works is he basically just takes a card from your opponent's deck, like a lower costed card from your opponent's deck, and adds it to your side, which it's not the coolest ability in the world, but it gets the job done, right? It's fine. So it's an okay card. I mean, I guess in some cases he could be good, but at least in my experience, he's just kind of average. Then there's also Malekith. Now, I like the concept of Malekith, but I don't know. I feel like he still needs more playtesting. But at least as far as my initial gameplay goes for him, he's still not bad. Because the way Malekith works is he's gonna grab. It says on reveal, add a 1, 2, or 3 cost card from your deck here, but don't reveal it until the game ends. Which it's kind of interesting. So it's like another version of Baron Zemo, but it pulls a card to your side, or it pulls a card from your deck and not your opponent's. But it's not too shabby. But it could definitely. There's definitely more synergies that I still haven't discovered with it yet. So, but otherwise, he's not too bad. Then there's Scream. Now, Scream is a 2-cost, 1 power card, and it says when an enemy card moves, steal 2 power from it once per turn. Now, in theory, the ability sounds good, but it can be hard to execute, especially if you're playing a deck like this and your opponent's not playing a move deck. It can be kind of tricky unless you play something that moves enemy cards for you, right? So that's the only downer for Scream, but for a damage dealing card, it's not too shabby. It's not my favorite, but it gets the job done for what its ability is. Now there's Nicholas Scratch. This was the last card that I got. His ability, the way it works, is every time you play a spell or a skill, so for example, Temporal Manipulation from Agamotto or one of Merlin's skills, he's going to get a power boost. But the thing is, he's not really meant to be treated as an offensive card, right? He's meant to be more of a support, right? So let's say you have him with an Agamotto or a Merlin. Every time you play their skills, he'll get a little bit stronger. The highest that I managed to get him up to was a 5, which isn't too bad. But I just feel like he's more of a support. So it just doesn't, considering its limitations, I don't think it's any better than, it's not as good as some of the other cards in Great or Amazing. So I don't think that card's gonna really change. And then, of course, there's Loki. So he jumped up to average. Now we're moving into Great. See the Great tier. So first up, we got Silver Surfer, First Steps. And I kind of like what this card has to offer. Now, the thing is, you do have to get her through. You can only get her through the Super Premium Season Pass, which, here's the thing. They're doing it again next season. They're still running this, which, I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm still kind of mixed about it. Because my thing when it comes to the Super Premium Pass is, I never saw a reason to get it, right? Because before they started releasing, actual cards, it's always been variants, and they never really appealed to me, and I just didn't see the point, because it's okay, yeah, sure, you're getting extra levels, but at the same time, it's I don't need another variant, right? And borders just I didn't really see the need for them. But now that they started dropping actual cards, I'm kind of starting to realize that maybe it's not a bad deal. I mean, granted, it is $20, which it is pretty steep. But when you consider the fact that you're getting 2 cards instead of 1, it kind of isn't too bad. But that's just my thoughts of it. But for Silver Surfer First Steps, she's actually pretty solid. Granted, I've been playing her with mostly Search, although I did play her in a deck. I think it was my Baron Zemo deck or something. I don't remember which one it was. But I did play her alongside Master Mold, which is a card that adds Sentinels to your opponent's hand, right? And it kind of opened up some potential. So I still want to experiment with her, at least, like, even for next season, if there are other, even for, like, the next season, whenever there's other on-reveal cards, I still want to see how she can synergize with those. So there's definitely potential for her, and I just think she's a pretty great. After that, we've got Toxin. This dude, the best way I could describe him is he's kind of like a. There's another card called Beast, and he basically returns your cards to your hand. But actually, no, I would say he's like a friendly version of Carnage, because you know how Carnage destroys your cards. This dude returns. Like, hold on, yeah, Carnage destroys your cards, and he benefits from it. But Toxin, he'll return your cards to your hand, but he'll also get powered from the cards that he returned. And, the deck that I played him in, that I haven't featured it in, it works really well. Now, granted, he's not always going to be needed, but when you do use him, he's pretty dang good. Now we've got Airwalker. This is a card that you could get from High Voltage, which is done, but next season you should be able to get him through Snap Pack. So even if you at least just got his icon, right, you could still, like, you could still at least say that you had Airwalker, just not the actual card. But the way this dude works is when you destroy him, he's going to grab a 4-cost card from your hand or deck. Now, I'm not going to lie, as far as, like, combos, there really wasn't a lot up until I discovered it with, like, Phoenix Force. Because, truthfully, guys, I never thought of playing Phoenix Force, or even, like, used it, like, at all, up until this point. And it makes for a very solid combo, right? Now, I find that the best way to actually achieve that Airwalker Phoenix Force combo is to make sure you separate him, right? Make sure Airwalker is alone, then you destroy him by himself, so that way Phoenix Force can grab Airwalker, and so now you end up with a 3/8, right? And it makes for a pretty solid combo in, like, a destroy moves deck. So I don't know, man. I think, but is he as good as Galactus? Now, you know what? I think he might be my favorite destroy card. So I think I'm going to promote Airwalker to Amazing alongside Galactus First Steps and Iron Patriot, which this is the tier that we're now at. So we have Galactus First Steps, which is the card that you could get from the Season Pass. And I gotta say, man, I like what this dude has to offer. So unlike regular Galactus, the way this dude works is you have, like, whenever, like, let's say, how can I explain his ability? It's a bit tricky. So, like, let's say you play, like, if Galactus First Steps is in your hand, right? And you play something like a Sunspot, that Sunspot is going to become Galactus's Herald. And as long as that Sunspot is winning the location, Galactus First Steps is going to benefit from that. And I think it's pretty good. I managed to get him to, like, in the high 20s. Actually, no, I think I got him into, like, the 40s because there was another location. But it's pretty good. It's kind of like a mix between, how do I put it? It's kind of like another version of Iron Patriot in a sense, but I don't know what to compare it to. But it's a really fun and cool concept, and I kind of hope they do more stuff like this. So yeah, for this season's season pass card, I think he's really solid. Now, one thing I didn't mention is, you might have noticed that I didn't get any new Series 5s for this season. And that's mainly because they really weren't too interesting. Plus, all the reviews for those cards, they weren't very positive. So, I don't know, man. I feel like last season was a lot better with, like, Herbie and Human Torch. This season was okay. Now we've got Iron Patriot. And my, oh my, this dude is very cool. Now, actually, this card, if I remember, was actually a season pass card in, I think it was Dark Avengers? Yeah, I think it was a debut card in Dark Avengers. And his ability is fun. So basically what he'll do is he'll pull a random 4, 5, or 6 cost card into your hand. But if you're winning that location, he will make them cheaper. So imagine this. Like, imagine, like, if he pulls a Galactus, right? If you're winning that location, Galactus will go down from a 6 to a 3. Yeah, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. But you can basically make, -3 cost, which is huge. So you can make any big card that you get a lot cheaper. So again, if you get regular Galactus and you're winning with Iron Patriot, make him with 3 cost and you play him on turn 3, it's gonna be over, man. Your opponent's gonna hate you for it. Or even if it's like a Hulk or something, you could pull some pretty insane plays with this guy. And overall, Iron Patriot is just really, really fun. Especially when you're playing decks where you want your hand to be full. This dude is a perfect addition to that. So there it is, folks. These are all of the cards. These are all of the cards that I collected for the season. And if I had to rate this season from a 1 to a 10, I would give it, I think I would give it I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It definitely wasn't as good as, Fantastic Four First Steps, but I feel like with Silver Surfer and Galactus First Steps, those cards told me everything I needed to know about this season. And it's perfectly fine. Because the thing is, you don't always need to get the new cards. Like, especially with the Snap Pack system. That's one of the things I like about it, is that now it's like, I don't feel like I have to get all the newer cards for the season. Because back when Spotlight keys were out, oh yeah, I did not want to miss out on any of them. But now it's like, if there's a bad season, like if all the Spotlight or the new Series 5 cards are kind of mid or trash, then I could just wait for them to go down into the regular packs and, I might have a chance to pull them. So, anyways, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the vid. Don't forget to like and sub, turn on those notifications, and also comment down below if you guys like this new method of, every time I get a new card, I rank them at the end of that episode, or if I should just stick to what I've been doing before. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Peace.